Just the word cancer is enough to send a tremor through the soul. It's not just a medical term anymore. It's personal. It's the story of your neighbor who no longer walks his dog. The friend who used to laugh every Sunday but now barely talks. The woman in your church choir who stopped showing up. And maybe, just maybe, it's you, watching this, silently wondering what's next. For years, we've trusted medicine to carry us through. And yes, treatments have improved. Surgeries are more precise, and medications more advanced than ever. But here's the truth. We rarely say out loud, cancer cases are rising, not falling. Why, with all our knowledge and breakthroughs, is this silent storm still raging through homes and hearts? Could it be that the very air we breathe is filled with toxins our bodies weren't made to handle? That stress, once an occasional visitor, has become a permanent resident in our lives? That our food is more processed, our days more sedentary, our minds more distracted? Here's the terrifying part. Cancer doesn't scream. It whispers. It creeps in quietly. It grows in silence, undetected, while we go on living our ordinary days. Until one day, it isn't ordinary anymore. Now, what if I told you there's something small, humble, and often overlooked? Something that doesn't come in a pill bottle, doesn't cost hundreds of dollars, and isn't locked behind a doctor's prescription? What if the secret to strengthening your body's natural defenses isn't some high-tech miracle, but a seed? Tiny, ancient, natural, loaded with nutrients, studied by researchers, backed by science, and hidden in your kitchen cabinet. You see, I'm not here to promise a cure. I'm here to spark a shift, a new mindset, one that empowers you, not frightens you. In this video, you're going to meet 6 seeds, 6 tiny but mighty protectors. Each one carries a unique power to support your body's ability to defend, repair, and rebuild. Some of them you already know. Some you might be ignoring. One of them you've likely never heard of, but it may be the most powerful of all. If you're over 60, your body doesn't regenerate the way it used to. Your immune system is slower. Your cells don't repair as easily. But here's the good news. Food is information. And when you feed your body the right code, nature's code, it listens. It responds. My name is Dr. Grace Hamilton. For over 30 years, I've walked alongside patients as they battle cancer, chronic disease, and aging-related decline. I've read the studies. I've seen the scans. But most of all, I've listened to their fears, their regrets, their victories. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Health isn't just about treating illness. It's about creating resilience before illness begins. This video is not just a list. It's a journey. You'll learn how macadamia nuts may reduce tumor risk through powerful fats and antioxidants, why red watermelon seeds, cherished across cultures, carry potent cancer-fighting compounds, the forgotten power of millet, a grain that holds ancient protection in its humble form, the cancer-blocking compounds hiding in tiny sesame seeds, the surprising impact of almonds on cellular defense and emotional resilience, the prostate-saving strength of pumpkin seeds, rich in zinc and phytosterols. And this isn't just information. You'll get practical ways to use these seeds in daily meals. Plus, I'll share 2 real-life stories of seniors who changed their lives, not with pills, but with seeds and belief. Before we continue, let me ask you to do 3 small things. Hit like, so YouTube knows this is content that matters. Subscribe to Evergreen Health if you care about aging with strength and dignity. Comment below. Tell us where you're watching from and your age. We want to know who we're walking this journey with. The final seed I'll share is rare and powerful. It's not something you'll find in every health store. But if you make it part of your life, it could become one of your greatest allies in the fight against age, disease, and decline. You won't want to miss it. So grab a cup of tea, take a deep breath. Let's begin the journey, seed by seed, step by step, toward a stronger, more radiant you. Part 2. Macadamia. Not just a snack. Let me begin with, and one of the most Macadamia N. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Macadamia, isn't that Jew? You're not wrong. Macadamias have long been labeled a luxury item, expensive, indulgent, buttery. Butter is a cellular guard. The science. Macadamia nuts are rich in monounsaturated fats. Yes, fat. Roughly 75% of the fat in macadamias is oleic acid, the same heart-protective fat found in extra virgin olive oil. Here's what this fat does for you. Reduces inflammation, which is a mages. Stabilizes cell, helping neuter those dangerous P. Mangane macadamias also contain MEA, a minera just one small handful, 128 gr, provides about 1.5 milligrams of manganese, which supports the body's antioxidant, like SOD, helps repair damage, guards your. In my clinical observations, low MA are surprise. Adding macadamias to their diets often yields better outcomes, more energy, fewer joint issues, better recovery from phytosterols. The cancer blockers now. This is where it gets exciting. Macadamia nuts are rich in phytosterols, plant compounds that mimic cholesterol, but instead of raising risk, they do the opposite. Studies show phytosterols inhibit tumor growth, especially in breast and prostate cancers. They also block estrogen receptors, which is key in hormone-driven cancers. For men over 55 and postmenopausal women, this is gold. I've seen older patients with family histories of cancer add phytosterol-rich foods like macadamia to their diets, and within months, their inflammatory markers dropped significantly. Story: Betty's Turnaround. Let me introduce you to Betty, a 67-year-old retired schoolteacher from Oregon. Betty came to me 2 years ago, constantly fatigued, struggling with joint pain, brain fog, and anxiety over her family's long history of breast cancer. She had no symptoms of cancer herself, but her biomarkers were concerning: high CRP, inflammation, low HDL, high oxidative stress. Instead of just handing her supplements, I asked her to start with her food. I gave her a 30-day plan and told her, eat 10 macadamia nuts a day. That's it. No fanfare. Just make it a habit. She looked at me skeptically. You're telling me nuts are going to fix this? Fast forward 6 months. Her inflammation markers were down. Her cholesterol improved. Her energy returned. But more importantly, her fear faded. She felt like she was doing something. Taking back power. To this day, she calls them her anti-anxiety nuts. How to use macadamias daily, the smart way. The key is moderation. Macadamias are high in calories, but also very satiating. Serving size, 28 g, or 12 whole nuts. When to eat, mid-morning snack or after lunch to curb cravings. How to eat? Crushed on top of Greek yogurt or oatmeal. Blended into smoothies. Adds creamy texture. Chopped into salad bowls or veggie stir-fries. Eaten whole, slowly, mindfully. Avoid store-bought macadamia cookies, salted or sugar-coated varieties. Weight gain fears? Read this. A lot of seniors fear eating nuts will cause weight gain. I hear it all the time. But doctor, aren't these full of fat? Yes, but here's the secret. Macadamia nuts reduce hunger. Their high-fat, low-carb makeup supports steady blood sugar, which lowers cravings for junk food. In fact, Several studies have found that people who eat nuts regularly weigh less, not more. A final thought from the clinic. Cancer prevention isn't about doing one big thing. It's about doing small, smart things, consistently. And macadamia? It's one of the smartest. It's not a drug. It's not flashy. It doesn't come with marketing hype or medical warnings. It's just a seed. But sometimes the smallest seeds grow the strongest roots. Part 3. Watermelon seeds. The red treasure you're throwing away, a hidden gem with ancestral roots. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you spat out a watermelon seed? Most people do it instinctively, just like their parents did, and their parents before them. But here's the irony. We've been throwing away one of the most medicinally potent seeds nature has ever produced. It's time to stop treating these seeds like trash and start seeing them for what they are. Tiny red treasures that hold the power to defend your cells from within. Rooted in culture, validated by science. In many cultures, especially across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, roasted red watermelon seeds are not just a snack. They're symbols of vitality, of good luck, and of heritage passed through generations. As a physician, I used to think of these as quaint traditions, but once I began diving deeper into the phytochemical composition of these seeds, I was floored. What ancient people intuitively practiced, science is now beginning to confirm. The power of lycopene, a cancer bodyguard. One compound stands above the rest, lycopene. You've probably heard of it as the cancer-fighting antioxidant in tomatoes. But guess what? Red watermelon seeds contain up to 75 milligrams of lycopene per 100 grams, almost 3 times what you get from ripe tomatoes. This matters because lycopene reduces DNA damage from oxidative stress. It neutralizes free radicals that could lead to tumor growth. It's especially effective in prostate, breast, and lung cancers. In seniors, where oxidative damage accumulates faster, lycopene acts like a molecular fire extinguisher. Linolenic acid, an inflammation fighter. Beyond lycopene, about 38% of the fat in watermelon seeds comes from linoleic acid, an omega-6 fatty acid crucial for modulating chronic inflammation, repairing tissue after cell injury, supporting immune function. Some medical circles criticize omega-6s as pro-inflammatory, but that's a misconception. The balance between omega-6 and omega-3 matters, and in the right ratio, linoleic acid protects the body, not harms it. In my experience, older adults with joint pain, skin disorders, and fatigue often suffer from deficiency, not excess, of these essential fatty acids. Mineral arsenal, magnesium, zinc, and vitamin E. Let's talk micronutrients. Watermelon seeds are like a pharmacy in a shell, delivering magnesium. Supports over 300 enzymatic reactions, especially in muscle function and blood pressure regulation. Zinc, vital for wound healing, hormone regulation, and cancer surveillance via the thymus gland. Vitamin E, one of the most effective fat-soluble antioxidants, essential for cell membrane protection. Combined, these nutrients don't just fight disease, they optimize aging. Story: Mr. Ricardo's comeback. I once worked with Ricardo, a 71-year-old man from Texas who had recovered from colon cancer but lived in constant fear of recurrence. He was the type of patient who followed every rule, ate clean, exercised, took his meds, but still felt drained. His main issue? Low antioxidant status, poor mineral absorption, and erratic digestion. We made a small but meaningful tweak. I asked him to soak and roast red watermelon seeds at home and eat a small handful daily. Within 6 weeks, his magnesium levels improved. His sleep became deeper. His energy and emotional confidence skyrocketed. He now refers to them as his red shields. How to use them without damaging the nutrients. Step 1. Soak. Soak the seeds in warm water for 2 hours to soften the hulls. This makes them easier to digest and increases nutrient absorption. Step 2. Roast, lightly. Dry roast on low heat, not high, for 8 to 10 minutes until aromatic. Step 3. Use creatively. Sprinkle over soups or porridge. Blend into smoothies with banana and almond milk. Add to homemade energy bars. Grind into powder to mix with yogurt or oats. Tip: mix with citrus, lemon juice or kiwi to boost iron absorption naturally. Caution: don't overdo it. Yes, they're nutrient-dense, but moderation is key. Ideal dose: 15 to 20 gras per day, 1 small handful. Excess may cause mild bloating, slight cholesterol spike, due to natural fats. If you're sensitive to high-fat foods, start with 1 teaspoon and gradually increase. A note on traditional foods and modern wisdom. It's tempting to chase exotic superfoods from faraway lands, but sometimes the most powerful tools are already in your pantry, passed down by grandparents who knew, without needing studies, what kept them strong. There's healing in tradition, there's strength in heritage, and there's power in knowing your food has purpose. My professional takeaway: if you want a low-cost, low-effort, and high-impact tool to add to your daily nutrition, watermelon seeds are it. They don't need to be hyped. They don't need to be imported. They just need to be respected. Don't let another summer go by spitting out your healing. Part 4. Millet. The forgotten grain that outshines superfoods. A grain you walk past. That could change your health. Let me ask a simple question. How often do you walk right past millet in the grocery store without even noticing it? It's small. It's beige. It doesn't come in shiny packaging or promise to burn fat fast on TV ads. And yet, this modest grain might be one of the most powerful foods for senior health in existence. As a doctor who's worked with patients from all walks of life, I've learned to look beyond marketing. Some of the greatest nutritional miracles don't come from laboratories. They come from humble fields, and millet is one of them. What makes millet so special? Millet is an ancient grain, cultivated for over 7,000 years across Africa, India, and China. It was a staple in early civilizations, prized for its ability to nourish entire communities through famine, aging, and disease. Modern science now understands why. High in polyphenols. These plant antioxidants combat oxidative stress, the root cause of aging and cancer. Packed with magnesium. Critical for blood pressure regulation, heart function, and muscle coordination. Gluten-free and alkaline. Easy on digestion and helps maintain pH balance, reducing inflammation. Polyphenols. The cell guardians. In 100 g of millet, you get about 120 milliliters of polyphenols, which is multiple times more than what you find in refined grains like white rice. Why does this matter? Polyphenols neutralize free radicals, slowing down cell aging, protect against DNA mutation, which triggers cancer development, lower inflammatory signals like interleukin-6 and TNF-alpha, especially in seniors. I often compare them to bodyguards standing at your cell's gates, keeping danger out, restoring peace within. Magnesium, the forgotten mineral of life. You'd be surprised how many seniors walk into my clinic with high blood pressure, muscle cramps, fatigue, poor sleep. In many cases, the root cause isn't disease, it's magnesium deficiency. Millet contains about 114 millimoles of magnesium per 100 grams, making it one of the most magnesium-rich grains available. Magnesium relaxes blood vessels, lowering hypertension risk, calms the nervous system, reducing anxiety and stress, supports glucose regulation, reducing diabetes complications, helps in DNA synthesis and repair, a key in cancer prevention. Story: May's quiet transformation. Let me tell you about May, a 76-year-old widow from Kentucky who struggled with digestive issues, fatigue, and prediabetes. She'd been eating white rice and white bread most of her life, things that felt safe. But they gave her no energy and spiked her blood sugar. I suggested a simple switch: replace all refined grains with millet for 1 month. May was hesitant. "I've never even heard of it," she said, but she tried. Here's what happened. Her blood sugar dropped from a 120 to 95. Fasting. She stopped feeling bloated after meals. Her chronic fatigue eased, and most importantly, she felt proud. At 76, she had reclaimed control. To this day, May says, "Millet didn't just feed my stomach, it restored my spirit." How to cook millet like a pro and enjoy it. Step 1. Rinse thoroughly. Millet can be dusty, so rinse 2 to 3 times under cold water. Step 2. Toast before boiling. Lightly toasting the millet in a dry pan enhances its nutty flavor. Step 3. Cook ratio: 1 cup millet to 2.5 cups water. Boil, then simmer for 15–18 minutes. Let it rest 10 minutes before fluffing. Step 4. Eat creatively. Add 2. Morning porridge with cinnamon and fruit. Grain bowls with grilled veggies and tahini. Soups and stews as a hearty base. Millet patties with herbs, egg, and onion. Common mistakes to avoid: don't overcook it. Turns mushy. Don't add too much salt. Affects magnesium absorption. Don't eat with processed meats. Cancels out benefits with preservatives. Millet for seniors: why it's a game changer. After 60, the intestinal lining thins, mineral absorption declines, and metabolic flexibility drops. Millet is gentle on the gut, rich in plant-based iron and zinc, anti-inflammatory by nature, easily blended with anti-cancer spices like turmeric, coriander, and black pepper. And let's not forget, it's budget-friendly, especially compared to expensive superfoods from overseas. My final word as a clinician: millet doesn't need flashy packaging. It doesn't shout from the shelves. But in the quiet of your kitchen, it nourishes deeply. It builds cellular resilience, stabilizes your energy, and protects your heart, colon, and brain. Without fanfare. I tell my patients, millet is the kind of food your grandmother would have eaten daily, and she likely lived longer because of it. Part 5. Sesame. The ancient seed with modern healing power. A seed older than written history. Sesame isn't new. In fact, it may be one of the oldest cultivated seeds in human history. It's referenced in Babylonian scrolls. It's pressed into oil in ancient Ayurvedic texts. It was placed in the tombs of Egyptian kings for its eternal healing powers. And now, 4,000 years later, we're finally discovering how right they were. Tiny seed, massive impact. Don't be fooled by its size. Inside that little ivory or black shell lies one of the most concentrated sources of cancer-fighting compounds on the planet. Let's start with the 2 that have scientists buzzing. Sesame, sensamol. These are lignans, plant-based polyphenols that slow cancer cell multiplication, protect liver function, modulate estrogen receptors, especially important for breast and uterine cancer prevention, inhibit angiogenesis, the growth of blood vessels that feed tumors. In short, they help starve cancer before it can take root. Studies speak clearly. A 2017 study published in the Journal of Medicinal Foods found that sesamin and sesamol extracts inhibited growth of colon cancer cells by up to 52%, reduced oxidative DNA damage, showed pro-apoptotic behavior, triggering cancer cell death. I've personally recommended sesame inclusion in anti-inflammatory diets for patients with colitis, breast nodules, prostate issues, and even skin lesions. Results? Reduced inflammation, improved labs, better digestion, stronger immunity. The surprise. Benefactor: your bones. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Most seniors worry about osteoporosis, and they're often told to drink more milk. But did you know? 100 grams of whole sesame seeds, 975 mg of calcium. That's more than milk. Add to that 350 mg of magnesium, rich copper, zinc, and phosphorus. And you have a plant-based, bone-supporting powerhouse without the bloating or lactose intolerance. Story: Lynn's second legs. Meet Lynn, a 69-year-old piano teacher from Washington State. She came to me heartbroken. Her knees were deteriorating. She had 2 hairline fractures in her left femur and was on the waiting list for bone density medication. But she wasn't ready to surrender. I prescribed her a mineral loading protocol focused on sesame. 2 tablespoons toasted sesame daily, paired with citrus juice, lemon, and vitamin D, avoided excess caffeine and soda. Within 6 months, her bone density stabilized. DEXA scan. Her fracture pain reduced. And she said this to me, with a smile I'll never forget. I feel like I've grown a second pair of legs. Sesame and hormonal balance. For postmenopausal women, sesame is a gift from nature. Why? Because sesame modulates estrogen, helping regulate hormonal fluctuations that trigger weight gain, fuel certain cancers, disrupt sleep and mood. Unlike hormone replacement therapy, HRT, sesame is gentle, food-based, and side-effect-free. In men, it also supports prostate health and testosterone balance, particularly important after 60. How to use sesame daily without boring yourself. Serving size: 10-20 grams. Salt 1-2 tablespoons. Try these. Sprinkle over oatmeal or Greek yogurt. Mix into tahini dressing for salads. Toast and add to stir-fried greens. Use in homemade energy bars. Add to hummus or seed-crusted grilled fish. Black sesame is especially potent, richer in iron and antioxidants. Toasted sesame unlocks more flavor, but don't burn it. You'll lose vital compounds. Common mistakes to avoid: don't buy pre-ground sesame, oxidizes quickly. Don't overheat in oil. Keep below smoke point. Don't forget to chew. Crushing releases oils for better absorption. Pro tip: soak sesame in warm water overnight. Blend into smoothies for enhanced absorption and gut friendliness. Mental clarity. To beyond physical health, sesame is a neuroprotective food. Thanks to its high tyrosine content, it helps boost dopamine, motivation, serotonin, mood regulation. This makes it powerful in preventing senior depression, cognitive decline, chronic stress inflammation. I've seen patients over 70 regain focus and emotional steadiness simply by adding sesame oil to their diet in place of processed fats. My verdict as a doctor: I used to think of sesame as just a garnish. Now I consider it part of my prescriptions. It's ancient wisdom wrapped in a modern miracle. It's simple, affordable, and deeply powerful. Most importantly, it helps restore what aging slowly steals away: strength, stability, and resilience. In a world obsessed with new, sesame reminds us that the old ways still work best. Part 6. Almonds, the emotional shield against cancer and stress. More than just a nut, a symbol of strength. Almonds are more than a snack. They're a symbol, of endurance, of richness, of ancient medicine and sacred rituals. Persian emperors consumed almonds to preserve energy during battle. Biblical texts speak of the almond tree blooming early, a symbol of watchfulness. Ayurvedic medicine treats almonds as brain tonic and body nourisher. But here's what matters to us today. Almonds are one of the most complete natural foods for cancer prevention, emotional resilience, and longevity. Let me tell you why. Vitamin E, the antioxidant armor. In 100 grams of almonds, you get up to 25 milligrams of vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that shields cell membranes from free radicals, prevents oxidative damage to DNA, a key trigger in cancer development, enhances immune response, especially in seniors. Think of free radicals as sparks flying through a dry forest. Vitamin E is the sprinkler system, dousing potential fires before they ignite tumors. I've seen patients with chronically low vitamin E levels suffer from brain fog, weak immunity, skin breakdown, and in some cases, higher cancer risk markers. With almond-based interventions, we've reversed those patterns. Polyphenols and flavonoids, the cellular commandos. Beyond vitamin E, almonds are packed with polyphenols, which combat inflammation, flavonoids, which slow cancer cell growth, especially in breast and colon cancers. One study published in Nutrition Reviews found that daily almond intake reduced LDL oxidation by 34%, which directly impacts cancer risk linked to vascular inflammation. The stress-cancer connection, why almonds matter. We often overlook this. Chronic stress weakens the immune system, increases inflammation, and accelerates cancer cell proliferation. This is especially dangerous for seniors who live alone, struggle with grief, face financial uncertainty. Here's the connection. Almonds are high in magnesium, about 207 mmol per 100 grams, a mineral that calms the nervous system, supports emotional regulation, lowers cortisol, the stress hormone linked to tumor growth. That's why I often say, an almond a day doesn't just feed your body, it grounds your mind. Story: Carol's comeback from emotional exhaustion. Carol was 73 when her husband passed from pancreatic cancer. She was strong, stoic, but she stopped sleeping. Her appetite disappeared. Her labs tanked. She told me, with tears in her eyes, "I don't think I have the strength to be alone." Her inflammation markers were sky-high. Her B12 and magnesium were bottomed out, and she was borderline anemic. Rather than medicate her heavily, I began slow nutritional rebuilding. One key element? Almonds. We started with 8 soaked almonds each morning. She paired them with warm water, a dash of cinnamon, and prayer. Over time, she built it into her morning ritual. After 3 months, her emotional state stabilized. Her sleep deepened. Her energy returned. And she told me, "It feels like my body is forgiving life." That's what I mean by emotional shield. Immune system support. Almonds are also rich in zinc, immune booster, iron, supports oxygen transport, B-complex vitamins, crucial for mood and energy. In seniors, weak immunity often leads to recurrent infections, slower wound healing, and vulnerability to cell mutation. Almonds help reverse that spiral. How to eat almonds for maximum benefit. Best way: soak 8 to 12 almonds overnight. Eat first thing in the morning. Why soak? Removes phytic acid, which blocks mineral absorption, softens texture for easier digestion, enhances bioavailability of nutrients. Other tips: add crushed almonds to Greek yogurt or porridge. Blend into smoothies. Sprinkle over roasted vegetables or salads. Mix with cinnamon and a touch of raw honey for an anti-inflammatory snack. Avoid sugar-coated or chocolate-covered almonds. Almonds fried in seed oils. Overeating, they're calorie-dense. Dosage matters. Daily recommendation, 20 to 30 grams, about 1 small handful. Eating too many almonds can lead to bloating, excess calories, imbalance with other fats. Remember, this is medicine, not mindless munching. Final word from the clinic. Almonds are gentle. They don't promise miracles, but over time, they build up the inner fortress of your body. They're not just about cancer prevention. They're about feeling stronger, thinking clearer, sleeping deeper, and facing life with steadiness. When life shakes you, almonds help you stay rooted. Part 7. Pumpkin seeds. The hidden armor of prostate and colon health, the secret seed. Hiding in your kitchen. Imagine this. You're carving a pumpkin. The flesh is scooped. The pie is baking. The decorations are perfect. But what do you do with the seeds? If you're like most people, you toss them. And just like that, you've thrown away one of nature's most powerful protectors against prostate disorders, colon cancer, and age-related inflammation. Let me be direct. If you're over 50 and not eating pumpkin seeds, you're missing one of the easiest, cheapest ways to shield your body from degenerative disease. Why pumpkin seeds deserve more respect. Here's what's packed into every 100 grams of raw pumpkin seeds. 7 grams of zinc, 160 mg of magnesium, 50 ml of vitamin E, plant-based omega-3s, phytosterols. That's not just impressive, it's therapeutic. These nutrients form a synergistic defense system that enhances cellular repair, regulates immune function, protects DNA from oxidative damage, promotes hormonal balance, reduces prostate inflammation, and slows the replication of cancer cells. Let's break it down. Zinc. The prostate guardian pumpkin seeds are one of the highest natural sources of zinc, a mineral critical for testosterone regulation, prostate cell repair, immune surveillance of tumors. Low zinc levels are strongly correlated with benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, increased prostate cancer risk, poor wound healing, immune suppression. In my clinical practice, I regularly test zinc status in male patients over 50. Many are deficient. Instead of jumping straight to supplements, I recommend 30 grams of pumpkin seeds daily. In 6 to 8 weeks, many report better urinary flow, reduced nighttime urination, sharper libido and energy, fewer flu-like illnesses. Magnesium. The anti-aging mineral magnesium in pumpkin seeds works behind the scenes to improve circulation, regulate insulin sensitivity, support nerve signaling, lower blood pressure, reduce muscle cramps and restlessness. It's a natural relaxant for your muscles, blood vessels, and even your mind. For cancer defense, magnesium helps by protecting DNA replication fidelity, reducing inflammatory cytokines, enhancing repair enzyme function, vitamin E and phytosterols, a deadly combo for tumor cells. Vitamin E in pumpkin seeds is not just skin deep. It preserves cell membrane integrity, shields against oxidation of fat cells, LDL, supports colon and breast cell health. Add to this the phytosterols, plant compounds structurally similar to cholesterol, and you get reduced cholesterol absorption, hormone modulation, especially estrogen and androgens, cancer cell growth inhibition in breast, prostate, and colon tissues. A clinical study in nutrition and cancer found that diets high in phytosterols reduced colon tumor incidence in mice by up to 43%. Story: Frank's freedom from prostate trouble. Frank was 74 when he came to my clinic. He had BPH, constant urgency, poor sleep from waking up 5 times a night, and was terrified of prostate cancer. His brother had passed at 66. He refused surgery and hated the idea of long-term medication. So we built a protocol: 30-degree raw pumpkin seeds daily, warm water, morning and evening, paired with turmeric and pomegranate juice. 3 months later, his PSA levels stabilized. His nighttime urination went from 5x to 1x. He called the seeds his little green shields. Frank told me, "I never thought something this small could give me this much peace." How to eat pumpkin seeds effectively. Best practice: eat raw or lightly toasted. Why? Because over-roasting kills vitamin E and delicate oils. How to use: blend into smoothies with banana and oats. Add to porridge or Greek yogurt. Mix into trail mix with almonds and cranberries. Sprinkle over soups or roasted veggies. Grind into pumpkin seed butter. Tastes amazing with honey plus cinnamon. Serving size: 25 to 30 grams daily. About 2 tablespoons. Digestion and absorption tips: soak seeds overnight to soften hulls. Grind in a blender or coffee grinder to improve bioavailability. Pair with vitamin C-rich foods: kiwi, lemon, to boost iron and zinc absorption. Avoid pairing with calcium-rich dairy at the same time. Inhibits mineral uptake. Bonus benefit: mental clarity and sleep. Pumpkin seeds contain tryptophan, a precursor to serotonin and melatonin. Meaning: better mood, less anxiety, deeper sleep. In one study, older adults who ate tryptophan-rich foods like pumpkin seeds slept longer and deeper, with reduced depressive symptoms. I often recommend these seeds in evening tea snacks for seniors with insomnia. Final thought: the seed that should never be wasted. Pumpkin seeds are cheap. They're easy to store, and they require no prescription, no side effects, no doctor's appointment. They're the kind of healing food that doesn't ask for credit, but if you give them a place in your diet, they will give you strength, stability, peace of mind, and a layer of protection no pill can replace. Sometimes the greatest shield doesn't come in steel or stone. It comes in a seed. Part 8. Absorption and Life Lessons. Giving power back to your body. It's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. You've learned about 6 powerful seeds. You know their nutrients. You know their benefits. But there's one thing left. Even the best food means nothing if your body can't absorb it. As a doctor, I've seen patients do everything right. Eat healthy, take supplements, avoid junk, and still, they stay sick. Why? Because their gut is underperforming. Their food isn't translating into fuel. Their nutrients aren't reaching their cells. So let me teach you how to unlock the power of seeds, not with more food, but with better practices. Section 1. Maximizing absorption. 1. Soaking. Activate and alkalize. All 6 seeds we've discussed contain phytic acid, a natural compound that protects seeds in nature, but can block mineral absorption in the human gut. Soaking seeds overnight softens the outer shell, reduces phytic acid, begins the sprouting process, activating enzymes, makes nutrients more bioavailable. How to do it? Use filtered warm water. Soak 6 to 12 hours. Drain and rinse before eating. Bonus: add lemon juice or apple cider vinegar to help break down enzyme inhibitors. 2. Light toasting. Enhance flavor without damage. Toasting seeds. Lightly can improve taste, reduce anti-nutrients, preserve sensitive compounds like vitamin E. If not overheated, optimal range: 8 to 10 minutes at 150-160 degrees. 302-320 degrees. Tips: use cast iron or stainless steel pans. Stir regularly to prevent burning. Let them cool before storage. Never microwave or roast over 170 degrees. It destroys antioxidants and delicate oils. 3. Grinding. A game changer for older digestive systems. As we age, stomach acid and enzyme production decline, making it harder to break down hard outer shells. Grinding seeds increases surface area, boosts digestive access, allows the body to absorb minerals faster and with less effort. Tools: coffee grinder, blender, mortar and pestle. When to grind: just before consumption to preserve oils. Store in airtight container if making larger batches. For pairing with vitamin C foods. Vitamin C is a natural nutrient enhancer, especially for iron, zinc, manganese, best combos, pumpkin seeds, plus lemon juice in salad, almonds plus kiwi in smoothies, millet porridge plus fresh berries, sesame seeds, plus orange slices. This pairing improves iron absorption by up to 300%, according to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. 5. Avoid these common mistakes. Don't eat seeds with antacids or calcium-rich dairy at the same time. Blocks absorption. Don't eat huge quantities. Overloads digestion. Don't store in sunlight or humid areas. Oxidizes oils. Always chew well or pre-grind. Especially for seniors with dental issues. Section 2. Life lessons from 6 seeds. Lesson 1. Healing is found in what's small and overlooked. Macadamia nuts, watermelon seeds, millet. They don't scream for attention like supplements or superfood powders, but in their stillness, they heal. Just like the quiet effort of walking every morning, or the simple act of forgiveness. Healing doesn't always need noise. It needs consistency. Lesson 2. Resilience begins at the cellular level. We talk about mental toughness, emotional grit, spiritual faith. But none of that survives in a body overrun by inflammation, starved of nutrients, or plagued by oxidative stress. To fight cancer, fight it before it begins. Build your cells like bricks. Protect your DNA like treasure. Fuel your immune system like it's your first line of defense. Because it is. Lesson 3. Food is not just nourishment. It's medicine. These 6 seeds: lower blood pressure, fight tumors, calm nerves, balance hormones, restore energy, and yes, bring peace. When eaten with intention, food becomes a spiritual act of healing. Lesson 4. Aging doesn't mean decline. It means refinement. Most people believe that aging equals loss, but these seeds show us how to strengthen bones after 60s, how to sharpen memory after 70, how to stabilize energy after 80. We don't get weaker as we age. We become more sensitive, and sensitivity is a superpower when you learn how to feed it. Lesson 5. Healing is possible, at any age. I've seen people come back from cancer, reverse type 2 diabetes, walk again after spinal surgeries, laugh again after grief. It doesn't begin with a hospital bed. It begins in the kitchen, in a quiet moment of choice. Will you eat to survive or to thrive? Closing message from doctor to patient. If you've made it this far, thank you. Not for watching, but for caring, for choosing to learn, for not giving up on your body, your energy, your clarity, your life. You don't have to fight cancer with fear. You can fight it with food, with love, with knowledge, and with 6 humble seeds. You don't need to overhaul your life in a day. Just start with 1 habit, 1 handful, 1 morning. Because the journey to healing doesn't begin with a diagnosis. It begins with a decision.